Last week on Pokemon Cooked League, the Classic Core Claydols was able to ride the early lead thanks to the surprise grass coverage on Meloetta against the marvelous Molex, while the goofy Genesect and their beasted Cortana was able to survive the Rain Ditto despite the Get Tornadoes throwing the kitchen sink at him, which these players will be able to keep their undefeated streak alive. Hello, welcome to match 3 of week 2. We have the goofy Genesect versus the Classic Core Claydols. Mons that I'm interested in this week are one, the Meloetta, especially how the Goofy Genesect deal with Meloetta. If he's done his homework last week, the Grass Knot coverage on the Meloetta was able to pick up 2 easy KOs for the Classic Core Clay Dolls, so that's something that it needs to be played about and worried about. Definitely has Mons that are able to tank the Grass Knot. You know, the Genesect, the Cortana, and the Kilowattra will all eat that without any problems. And there's also I'm also interested in this Tapu Koko because it's definitely a awkward game with it. Because on one hand, the strong electric type stab moves, it threatens the Politoed, it threatens the Ferroscuda, even like Monza like resist like the Genesect doesn't like eating that either, and Cortana's special defense is so low that even Electric Green boosted like Thunderbolt is still like really not fun to take. So there's definitely obviously ways around it with the Gastrodon with the ground typing and the Kilowattra with the Volt absorbability actually getting healed off of it. Combination of that and the potential of Burden with the Sneasler, which makes you be able to double your speed. Unfortunately, even with double speed, you're still slower than Swiftwind boosted Barraskewda, so maybe we'll see just how greedy these teams are with the speed tiers. Like, you don't technically have to be like max speed, but like if the Barraskewda, like, okay, you don't have to be 408, you could be like 473, and that would be nice. And the Barraskewda definitely can threaten to KO with like a Rain Boost with the Psychic Fangs. And yeah, I kind of talked about like working backwards. Like, yeah, I took the Gastrodon and the Kilowattra. Why I'm interested in like those mons because they have of the defensive utility. I was making things like the Tapu Koko in the awkward potentially. Looking at leads, I'm expecting the Politoed to be sent out early. The team's just it doesn't need to be because it's nice with Gastrodon, and it's nice with the, and it's really good with the Barraskewda, but like, the rest of the team doesn't need it, unless you're getting scared about random fire coverage, which this team I don't really think has. They don't have to lead with Politoed. I'm actually going to guess he doesn't lead with Politoed and saves like the rain part in the back and just tries to play a normal game beforehand. And for the other side, I would bring something that can threaten Politoed and something that can cover with the Politoed. Maybe like Koko plus what's Coco's worst matchup here? I wouldn't say it's I think Koko may get Grass Knot coverage as well. I could be wrong with that. Koko and like maybe like Meloetta, like that can also do some coverage. If not. Alright. I also wouldn't be surprised if we get the Hisuian Samurai out just to get the hazards out quicker, but I don't know how important hazards are going to be this match. Like, I think this match is going to go fairly... Like, I think the Goofy Genesects are going to be switching too much, but let's start. Alright. Okay. I'm looking at the Skarmory, right? And, like, I don't know what it does in this battle. Obviously not in a good spot. Threatens to get obliterated, gets put to sturdy by T-Bolt, and it speed ties with the what's it called? With the Skarmory. So it could technically get doubled and died before even with the sturdy. And the Kilowattra also threatens to KO the Hisuian Samurai. This is very awkward here. Because you want to click like a sharpness boosted water type like Aqua Cutter. I'm not gonna say it may honestly like, get close to KOing Kilowattrel. It may KO Kilowattrel. I can't say that for certain, but like Kilowattrel's in such a good spot here. You could also decide to Tailwind here. I wouldn't be surprised if I see an early Terra if players, you know, remember about Terra still, because that is a thing you're gonna get used to. I don't think you need the Tailwind just yet. I think your team is plenty fast. Your Kilowattrel outspeeds most things except like the Tapu Koko, but you're okay seeing a Tapu Koko at least for now. This is definitely not a good spot for the Classic or Claydols. That was a strong Ceaseless Edge. Okay, that Ceaseless Edge did a lot. Is that banded? I don't know. Yeah. Okay, so the Skarmory was just sent out to get a quick Tailwind off. The Tailwind, I think, is actually pretty helpful here. It still definitely weighs around the Tailwind, aka the rain-boosted Barraskewda, because that thing has Swift Swim, which is really funny. But yeah, so I think, honestly, Tailwind for this is, like, not a bad trade at all, especially because now the hazards seem a little bit better now. Just because, like, because you're actually getting so much damage off of it. And now that the Kilowattrel is so low, that's like one less money you have to deal with for the potential the Tapu Koko. So you can really send in whatever you want here next. I wouldn't mind Meloetta here if you have Hyper Voice, because you just do some damage to the Kilowattrel, enough to chip it down, makes switching in kind of hard, and then like a strong Ceaseless Edge to threaten the Politoed here. But we'll see what actually gets sent out here. Yep. That's the Meloetta. I'm expecting a Hyper Voice plus strong Ceaseless Edge. If you get 2 layers of spikes up, that's when the chip starts to become pretty scary, because these mons, you know, Hartana, like I said, special defense is so low that even some spike chip damage, like neutral, like special attack, may just like KO at it. And definitely not. So I think this situation actually was played about as well as you could for the Classic for Claydols. Was able to dodge the if the Skarmory got paralyzed, that would have been an absolute disaster, but got the 70% in her favor. Yeah, this Kilowattrel, like, switching kind of sucks because you're still eating an attack with it, and like, okay, and like, what are you okay with taking an attack? Not really Barraskewda. That mon's like not pretty frail, so like that becomes awkward. It's like this may be, as much as I don't want to do it, like you may just have to satch the Kilowattrel pretty like this turn. Even if it's just taking like a Hyper Voice, you can like protect Politoed and like just let the Kilowattrel go down. I don't hate that play. Keep the Toad healthy. Okay, we decided to go for the wow, man, freaking the Watcher was just that frail, and we aren't banded. Right. So that's maybe a pretty big crit, especially if it's like leftovers, because then like another Energy Ball will KO. And may not. I mean, if it's not leftovers, another Energy Ball may KO here.
I gotta get out of here.
And we are this eject button stuff. But I don't know if this was like a bit of overprediction, but I think Ceaseless Edge was a fairly safe click there. If you are going for a play like this, nothing resists Dark on the team. So like, yes, the water type attack does do more, but you are losing out on potential chip. And I think that is, I don't remember exact accuracy of which move is more accurate or not. So I'm not going to talk about like being scared of the what's it called? Oh my gosh, I'm just scared of the accuracy. But yeah, this is, I mean, you got a KO, you got some good damage in the Politoed. It's going to take some chip damage when he gets back. I wouldn't, let's see. Since the Tailwind's up, I wouldn't be surprised if we just see the Barraskewda out of here, just out now, just so you can, just so you have speed control on the rest of on the other mons here. We are attack boost. I don't know if that's the one he wants, but it does make something like U-turn really, really scary here. Threatens to KO both of these, and you have to play a mind games, and you just like start pivoting back and forth. If that's even what you want to do, it might be better to not even pivot. Okay, we see the Gastrodon. Definitely a bit scary to bring out here, as the potential. You just saw Energy Ball out of the Meloetta, but you can definitely threaten the Meloetta with a +1 attack boosted bug type attack, probably U-turn. I don't know if like a Bug Buzz would KO Meloetta. Meloetta is so specially bulky that it may literally just live. But yeah, so maybe you're banking on the bug type attack to KO. Definitely a bit of mind games here. There is still 2 turns of Tailwind, so honestly, I wouldn't mind just trying to double this Genesect here. A rain boosted Razor Shell sounds really powerful here. Plus, like, what other attacks you might have from this? I don't know. Maybe you have Hyper Voice just for some spread damage. Because if you can successfully double and get rid of this Genesect, then that's a pretty big KO. Because this Gastrodon right now is not that threatening, and like, you know, you have an easy way out of. You have an easy way to answer it, and I'm sure you can find ways to pick apart the rest of the team, because then you're starting to run out of threats because the Politoed's slow, and then it's just Kartana left. So yeah, this is definitely a tricky spot here. You see Protect. Oh no. Yep, that's Stormtrooper. Stormtrooper works even through Protect. I gotta remember that. So that's a ginormous backfire. Alright, we do learn a little bit more about the speed tiers of these mons. We can see that the Meloetta is in fact... What? So... The Meloetta in Tailwind? Wait, no, I'm stupid. Yeah, the Meloetta in Tailwind is still slower than Genesect. Okay, that's pretty big information to have here. But yeah, I forgot how Storm Drain works again. That's my bad. I made the same mistake. But yeah, Energy Ball makes me believe that you don't have Bug Buzz. I think that's a pretty fair thing to say right here, because Bug Buzz is stab, so it does more. There's only one turn of Tailwind left. I'm pretty content just double protecting here. If I am the oh my gosh, the goofy Genesects. And I don't really know what you can really do about that. The fact that you got nothing on the Gastrodon is just, I mean, nothing on the Genesect is pretty big. Yeah, and that was also another potential problem with clicking Razor Shell this early, is just the fact that, like, if the Gastrodon for some reason did switch and that just backfires. So if you protect, the Storm Drain doesn't give you the attack. Okay, good. I did not know that. That's an unfortunate mess. Alright, it looks like the Gastrodon is probably going to go down to an Energy Ball. No. String Shot? Okay, that's funny. Yeah, that's a pretty big Ceaseless Edge miss. It definitely does probably half or more to Genesect. And just missing on the hazard, that's really unfortunate. Now this Meloetta is definitely not in an awkward spot here, but it's actually not in that bad of a spot here. Like I said, Genesect is just so, I mean, it's so especially bulky, and the fact that we are still not seeing Bug Buzz makes me once again believe that we don't have Bug type stab. So I think the Meloetta is in a fairly safe spot. It's just when you bring in next here, I can really probably just knock the Sneasler, I think. Just my instincts is telling me. You can, like, bring in Coco, click Dazzling Gleam, and like, do some spread damage. That's not terrible. You can do, like, so Valley and, like, just Teo. I don't know. It's just that this Meloetta is probably just didn't really have the juice to threaten Genesect right now. Yeah, that's a Valley. You know, this can learn a lot of moves, so this is always scary to go against. So I'm just gonna see how this turn just plays out. Energy Ball eats that very well. That's a Flamethrower. Yep, that's definitely a good damage you're happy to trade off here. All right, we're gonna see another Energy Ball, and that is enough to. And the Hyper Voice is is enough to peck off this Genesect. I was expecting a potential Energy Ball here just to make sure the Gastrodon's dead. That would have covered Recover, but this is way better because again, this Gastrodon is not in a good spot here. Even is just see the Grass type move every turn. Let's see, Rain is about to expire too, which means that you probably want to send in the Politoed in now, because the other mons kind of really need the Rain. The Kartana needs it just for like Flamethrower, and the Barraskewda needs it for what I'm guessing is this is like some type of seed boost a burden with the Tapu Koko, the combination, but chance it's not. Yeah, so this Politoed's probably just gonna get like not sacked, kind of sacked at this point. You just gotta like decide to figure out like what's like what mon. If you one, if you want to if you're okay with taking some chip on one of these mons, and two, like what mon is like more threatening to you right now. Let's see. We see Protect, String Shot, Recover. So it probably lands one attack. I'm guessing it's some water type attack, just because you know there's rain. So Politoed probably, I don't know. Politoed probably hits a little bit harder, and it probably just has a bit more utility at this point. Oh, I guess, I mean, the String Shot doesn't really matter at this point, just on the fact that, these mons are, you know, these mons are going to be slower than the Scuda and the Kartana anyway, so that doesn't really matter. So the Gastrodon is probably not that, so I think the Politoed's a more scary mon at this point. Good Icy Wind. Alright, does that make it so that the Meloetta is faster? No. I mean, no. Okay, we do barely enough to KO the Toad, but now that we're at +1 of Water Boost... Okay, we're still recovering here. Definitely a pretty ballsy thing to do here as... I mean, not ballsy. Maybe not ballsy is the correct term. It's just like, you just know that like at any point that like you can just potentially get Energy Ball out of this game here. Like out of this Gastrodon. So like how useful is the Recovers actually? Not sure. But you do get the Rain up. The Katana is in a pretty decent spot here. You got the Rain up to survive a potential Flamethrower. And Meloetta probably can't threaten the Kartana, so you're gonna have... So the Classic Core Claydols probably just needs to try to find another way to get rid of it. And then the Beast Boost starts happening. So I think if there was any time to Terra, it might be now. Like, I don't know. That can't be. That's unnecessarily true, because if you just click a Steel type move into the Valley, it probably just dies. I'm like, oh, what if you Terra Fire? Yeah, I don't think you live. Well, no, if you have Terra Fire on this and you click Flamethrower, that will make you survive a Grass or a Steel type move. Will it make you survive a Fighting type move? Maybe. I couldn't tell you that. Depends on like if we're Life Orb and how much bulk we put in or whatever. The sword here. Okay, we are gonna finally take out this Gastrodon here. Okay, we're gonna send the Sneasler in first. Maybe we're Sash here. I'm not sure. Again, no one has used Terror yet, which is definitely also scary here. Scuda is forced to come out here. I'm guessing this is some sort of choice band here. This is I think this is just gonna come. Let's see. I'm pretty sure Terra's gonna come out this turn. I would imagine. Is it on the Cortana or is it on the Barraskewda? I think it's probably on the Cortana here. I think the Scuda's probably just has rain boosted, Swift Swim boosted, like probably just KOs the entire field with liquidation here. So, and just like what's gonna Terra here? Maybe it's like just like the Meloetta, like maybe you're Terra Grass and you can like energy ball at the Barraskewda here. Yeah, and there's also fake out pressure. This is definitely this is I think this turn may determine. I think this turn may determine a game on like who gets a call, right, and what Terras people have decided to run. Okay, we're just gonna double protect the potential fake out. Okay, this gives a bit of information here. You do have to worry here though, because that's another turn of rain you just burned, and now you only have 2 left. So like, I'm trying to figure out if there's a potential way where like you can like sack something or like stall out the rain guaranteed, and then like the Coco can just come in and just like finish this game off. It's definitely awkward here, especially also just depends what this item is. What are either of these mons? What are these mons? Is this like, I'm gonna guess it's like some sort of berry, and this is probably it's either Focus Sash or the Electric Seed item. But let's see what happens now. Are we gonna see a Terra? Oh, it's not the Electric Seed. Leaf Blade, I don't think is gonna KO. It lives at 1. Energy Ball KOs. Okay, we're at a 2v1 here. That is a huge, huge, huge survival from the Meloetta. Let's see. That is actually insane. I don't know what their odds are for that, but that is ginormous. All right. We have Electric Terrain boosted here. The Tapu Koko is probably faster than the Cortana. I don't know if the rain is good or not for you right now, because like, let's say if your last move was like you have an electric move like Thunder, like that's better. But yeah, this takes you need to take at least 2 hits from Tapu Koko, which I don't know a Cortana can do unless you're Assault Vested. Unless like maybe a +1 kills Tapu Koko, which it might, but then you're taking a Meloetta attack, which may be fine. But again, no one has used Terra. I would click the Terra button. Yep, that's a good Terra right now. Yep, Terra Electric. All right, yeah, that's close. That's about as close as a game you can get. If the Meloetta takes 1% more, it doesn't get energy balled, and then then you have 2 mons, and then you use one to pick off something like that's probably maybe the Tapu Koko. So that is a huge, huge lift from the Meloetta coming up so clutch. But congratulations to Classic Clerk Claydols for really just scraping by. And I'll see you guys soon. Bye-bye.